So I had the realization today, I'm kind of doing what's typically called like a dev log, a developer's log. That's kind of cool. That's not something that I thought that I would ever kind of be taking on, yet here we are, making a dev log. Yeah. Last episode, I was talking about how I had this idea, brainstormed it a lot with ChatGPT.
Boo! You stink!
Had hundreds of conversations. Hundreds and hundreds. By the end of it, I kind of was just like, good enough. God really convicted me on that. I'll just be honest. So I went back through almost all day yesterday. I was redeveloping all the individual characters. They're all a lot cooler than they used to be. It felt really good to have more of a handcrafted feel to each of them, because if you were to ask, what were the original characters like? I could tell you. I could even show you some of the art the AI made.
Say hello to Insectosaurus.
But if I was to actually tell you how much I actually had a hand in its creation and everything, really small amount. And I didn't like that. And I still don't like that. So that's why I went back and I started from the beginning. Today I'm going to kind of share with you a little bit of each of the individual characters, and then the next episode I'll actually have some of the concept art that I've actually drawn. I'm not that great of an artist, but I'm trying to figure it out right now. Part of the interesting art style that I am going for, it's mixed media. I really love when different art forms and designs come together in a cohesive way. That's not like just over the top and obnoxious. Kind of like Amazing World of Gumball a little bit. That's kind of the closest that I have right now to different art styles. Let me walk you through and introduce you to all the characters. First one is Hodgepodge. Hodgepodge is a puppet.
Rolf? Want to get back together?
Okay.
Good.
So I will actually have a puppet that does what puppets do. And like you'll only be able to see him from like the top up and all those different things, but he's more of like a wild card, idea, tornado, kind of, if you will. A lot of inspiration for him is just the Swedish chef.
The chocolate or the booze.
That's really what I was going for, mixed with Buddy the Elf, kind of the full triumphant.
Santa's coming to town. Oh my God!
That's Hodgepodge. Next would be Ryan. Ryan is a rat with a chef hat. And yes, it's a very blatant reference to Ratatouille.
This is me.
And I understand that, and I think it's hilarious. The art style for him is literally just going to be a picture of a real rat with like a chef's hat kind of like taped onto it. Pretty simple.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it.
Next would be Granny Ree. So I don't know how well versed you are in the whole cooking show realm sphere.
So good and tasty.
Growing up, my mom loved this one cook, and her name was Pioneer Woman. I don't really think we actually made any of her food per se, but we had a lot of her like dishes and pans and cookware and all those different things. So this is actually a reference to Pioneer Woman, but then also just, I don't know, the old grandmother cook that would just make yummy food. That's kind of what I'm going for here. She's got a more of like refined like Pixar kind of art style going on with her. She'll be more 3D style animation. Next is Dot. Dot is a robot, and he is the assistant to the executive chef. His kind of inspiration is a mix of Clank from Ratchet and Clank, C-3PO from Star Wars, and Dwight Schrute from The Office. So just a little bit of a know-it-all in like every department, but he's there for the numbers. He's there to make the jokes that nobody actually thinks is funny, and he shares trivia that really isn't that helpful, but he always thinks he's being the most helpful person in the room.
What was your mile time?
About 7.
I could beat that on a skateboard.
Well, that has wheels.
Yeah, well, my feet don't, and I could still crush that time.
Next is Mr. Prince. So Mr. Prince is a reference to Sanji from One Piece. I'm not a huge anime fan, and this is kind of like a poser moment.
She doesn't even go here.
I've seen a couple episodes of One Piece, and I'm not even talking about like the live action like Netflix rendition. I've seen the original. The character that I thought was the coolest was Sanji, and just a lot of backstory, really cool, but he was a chef, and so I'm taking some inspiration for him. And I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, his like alter ego, like disguise name was Mr. Prince, so that's a cool reference. But I'm also kind of mixing him with Sean Spencer from Psych.
Yes. Jess? Yes. I believe it's a soft J.
Weird combination. I get it. I understand. I wanted to have the angle of seeing into the future, but like he's kind of bullcrapping you the entire time, but it's kind of funny.
Boom, boom, boom. Muffins.
But yet he still is very detail oriented, and just he's got the anime style, art style about him, so I'm pretty excited about that character as well. Next would be Paige. So Paige, she's the granddaughter of Granny Ree, so there's that. But inspiration-wise for her, she's a lot of things, if I'm being honest. She's kind of the note-taker of the game itself, and so she's a bit of like Belle from Beauty and the Beast mixed with Sid the Science Kid and Stacey Hirano from Phineas and Ferb, and just she's got like this curiosity and innocence about her, but she's just extremely smart. And she also runs the Inspiration Library, which, don't worry too much about that. There's a lot that goes into this. Can you tell I just have lots of ideas? Oh, and her art style, it's pretty simple, but it's like kind of like a... I'm just going to say drawing. Like, it is more of a simple drawing per se, but it's got like the cutout scrapbook feel to it. So that's Paige.
Oh. Okay.
Next is Drake. This is me very blatantly ripping off Gordon Ramsay. I wanted Gordon Ramsay to have some sort of part in the game itself, but obviously there's copyright laws and all these different things. So I'm going to have just a really poorly drawn caricature of Gordon Ramsay, and that's going to be like the art style for this guy. This is just Gordon Ramsay. That's pretty much it.
Caramelizes down. It's super fragrant and very, very sweet. And that's going to literally give that wonderful flavor.
Bring that back up to the boil.
Next would be Awe. So Awe, and it's spelled A-W-E, not A-W-W-W.
Can I get a milkshake?
I'm sorry, we don't have any ice cream right now.
Aww.
Awe is the character that I didn't know that I wanted and needed, but I was having a really hard time coming up with the head chef of Idea Kitchen, and everybody that I did have just kind of fell through the gaps, and it was just like, it's just not what I'm looking for.
And they're like me, but prettier and better at because maybe I'm not good enough.
If you can kind of picture Willy Wonka and the Cat in the Hat and Joy from Inside Out and the Genie from Aladdin, like just push all those characters together, and that's kind of who Awe is. He's supposed to be made of just pure imagination, pure joy, and he's the visualizer and the visionary, and there's no bad bone in his body. That's just who he is. So that's the bulk of who Awe is. And then next would be Mr. McWingy. I didn't need this character, and I'll be honest, but I really wanted this character. I wanted there to be a mailman character that would like drop off like side quests and letters and stuff into the kitchen. Every time I think of letters, my default is the owls from Harry Potter. I'll be honest, it was very iconic what they did there. And so I was like, okay, he should be an owl. That's awesome. And I was like, all right, what are some like famous or like popular mailmen? And I was like, oh, what about Mr. McFeely from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? And I was like, Mr. McFeely, Mr. McWingy.
Oh, that kid's clever.
He has lots of different factors in play, but yeah, he's the letter carrier and delivery man. And then the last of the primary characters is Compost. So Compost is a potted plant, and he's the watcher of all the ingredients in the Idea Kitchen garden. He's just a potted plant with a smile. He has the overall vibe of Yoda, Treebird, and Grandmother Willow, because she was a plant too. That's the crew. Now there are more characters and other NPCs that I have been kind of piecing together and stuff like that, but for the sake of right now, that's kind of a little bit of a snapshot into some of the character development that I've been thinking about. If you're trying to figure out what character development looks like, I'll be very honest with you. Don't think about it too much. I mean, I'm looking at my Google document right now, and I've probably got about 14 pages of just different pieces of information, and that's not all just character development. That's game mechanics and a bunch of other different things as well. So just open up a document, write things down. You'd be surprised when inspiration hits you. I went on a walk. I just kind of had my notes app open, and I was like voice recording into my notes app for a lot of it. So you never know when something's gonna hit you. I don't know, we're like, oh, that's a good idea. I need to write that down.
Write that down, write that down!
Always do it. Definitely always do it. You're not gonna regret that. Yeah, that's the end of this devlog. If you're working on a game right now, I'd love to hear about it. Truthfully, I have never tried to make a video game per se. I've made and play tested like board games and card games and stuff like that, and I'm still even unsure about the bones of this and trying to figure that all out. That's part of it, right? Just kind of figure it out, keep walking forward, and just make sure God's a part of it as well. If you ever are getting overwhelmed or you're stuck, just go for a walk, start talking to him, or just kind of pray. That's what I've been doing on and off today, and it's been good. So this video is done, so you should probably go do something productive.